guys tuned into episode 1 and 2. Episode 1, we kind of talked about the why, all of our philosophy and all of our reasons kind of behind creating Symto. Episode 2, we kind of talked about the what. We got into exactly what Symto is, what it does, in a little bit more detail. And now we're going to talk about the how. We're going to talk about how we are going to bring this dream to fruition, because it is a very big dream, and it's going to take a lot of work. And we're not going through the traditional channels that most people would go through to start a tech company like this. There's a lot of unique things about Symto and how we're kind of bringing it about, which is what we're going to talk about now to you guys, because this is the part where you guys become the stars of the show, because we need your help. Yeah, we're down here. We're in Bankhead National Forest, actually, in Alabama. We're wrapping up a book tour, kind of the beginning of our grassroots campaign. We've been talking to mayors, giants of industry. Who are we talking to, Marty? We've been talking to a lot of people, health and wellness professionals.
Regenerative farmers. We're talking to tastemakers across Virginia, DC, Alabama. Yeah, we're drumming up a lot of interest.
Drumming up a lot of interest. Everybody's been really interested in Marty's book, Regenerative Applied Dissident Economics. If you haven't read that, that's basically everything you need to know about Symto. So definitely check out that book. The links will be in the description of this video for all of the stuff that I will mention. I've been meeting some really amazing people and drumming up some really amazing interest. We came down here to talk to people, start this grassroots campaign, pitch the book, and where do we go from here? What are we kind of kicking off with this?
Right on. So the month of August, we're making our first fundraising month. We're kicking off with the first campaign. We're calling the Fight for the First 50. Mm-hmm. That's by no means the first $50,000 that was spent on this thing. Mm-hmm. You know for a while that we're very deep into our own pockets in this thing.
Yeah.
But like you said, we're trying not to put the fate like you said, we're trying not to put the fate of this project in the hands of the usual gatekeepers in Silicon Valley. Mm-hmm. So to that end, we're starting a grassroots funding campaign. The opportunities to get involved, start at $1 with our donation to our Ko-Fi. We're also doing an NFT sale. There will be an auction. We're working with an established NFT artist who makes incredible digital art, who's working with us to develop our branding into really desirable works of art. There are also badges to identify yourself as an economic dissident. What do I mean by that? An economic dissident is somebody that recognizes a lot of the problems that we're seeing environmentally, mentally, and socially stem with the mismanagement and misdesign of our economic systems at a fundamental level. Mm-hmm.
And that trickles down into our social media,
absolutely,
our food systems, the way we grow food, all that stuff.
Yes,
the way we manage our healthcare system.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of a forest, right? A forest is an economy, right? A forest is a nutrient economy. Yeah. Right, and it operates as such. When you look at the relationship between mushrooms and trees, for instance, they trade. Mm-hmm. There's no other way to put that. Mm-hmm. So when we're designing our systems, to design them without that link to nature, without following those natural patterns, leads to disaster, and we're seeing that today. So an economic dissident is somebody who recognizes that is the problem and is seeking an alternative. Mm-hmm. Symto provides that alternative. So this is a movement we started, the economic dissident movement. So the NFTs are kind of, tongue-in-cheek, whatever. It's a badge that identifies you as an economic dissident, and it gives you the opportunity to support us and an artist, and mm-hmm. You won't be the last artist we work with either.
Yeah.
And then what that will do then will give us fuel so we can move on to our main fundraising effort, which is the security token offering, which is an SEC regulated fundraising device that unfortunately we can only make available to accredited investors, which is people of a certain income level. It's a law of prohibition. Mm-hmm. These laws are always put in place to protect you from yourself. But we also don't want anybody investing money that they can't afford and things like that. So we welcome the oversight. But that's why we've created this multi-level campaign so that people can support us at any level.
Very cool, very cool. We may have to switch rocks, guys, because I'm trying to get comfortable on this rock. It was not made for people, but we'll come back in a new scene. What's up, guys? It's your social media director, Charlie Scott. We are out here in Bankhead National Forest in Alabama. We are wrapping up our book tour. This whole trip, we've been kicking off our grassroots campaign down here in Alabama. We've been speaking to mayors, health and wellness professionals, giants of industry, investors, a bunch of people handing out our book, Regenerative Applied Dissident Economics. And the reception has been overwhelming. So this is where we're going to kick off our fundraising campaign. We call it Fight for the First 50. We're trying to raise $50,000 to really get this thing off the ground. As you guys know, it's a decentralized social marketplace that serves as an economic engine for regenerative initiatives that make people and the planet healthier, because we're trying to save things like this. So we're going to have some really cool stuff coming up. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have all kinds of things that you guys are going to want to follow. We're going to be selling some really cool NFT art. So follow our Instagram, follow us on Facebook, go to Symto.net. If you want to check out our Ko-fi, and drop us a donation there if you want, and I'll show you guys the links for all of those things. But yeah, guys, we got a very exciting month coming up. So stay with us and be well. Well, I wanted to ask you about regeneration real quick, just as long as we're in the middle of the forest and you're talking about our relationship with nature. So you have a really good definition of regeneration or regenerative economy in your book. So what is a regenerative economy?
Okay, so regenerative economics recognizes the planet as the primary asset, and that a business model is not complete until it incorporates replenishing that asset as part of that model. Our current systems are set up in an extractive model because they don't complete that loop, and that's the source of the problems that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, awesome. So that's I guess that's why Symto's doing everything differently. So why, we may have already touched on this a little bit, but I mean, why are we why do we want to stay away from the big Silicon Valley money? Why do we want to why are we trying to build this as a movement of people rather than just starting it as a company?
Right on. So decentralization is obviously key to everything that we're building.
Right.
There's a writer, an economist from the last century called F.A. Hayek that I speak about a lot.
Friedrich August von Hayek.
There you go.
Not that anybody goes by that full name, but you know.
Right. And he wrote extensively on the perils of decentralization, but it can be boiled down to the fact of you're putting the opportunity to make mistakes, too large of mistakes, in the hands of too few people, right? So distributing the decisions on resource allocation and things along those lines to as many people as possible, even if those people are less, let's say, learned than the very select people that you might think you want in charge of something like that.
Yeah.
The randomness of the mistakes and so on leads to a more stable system than allowing somebody, even with the best of interests, to make those decisions at a high level. Because if they get it wrong, then the knock-on effects are too large. And anybody being put in a position like that soon becomes out of touch with reality on reality's terms. So that's why decentralization is the key to solving this corrupt relationship that we find ourselves in with nature.
Yeah, and that decentralization is built into our technology at every level. I mean, our website is decentralized, hosted on IPFS, or the Interplanetary File System. Symto is as a social network is going to be built, is on the blockchain. If you guys want to go into a little bit more about how that works, definitely take a look at our last podcast as we talk about how blockchain integrates with this. How crypto integrates with this, because we have our own cryptocurrency, Sim token, which pays you for your attention and is kind of the lifeblood of this regenerative economy that we're building. So the problem that we're really addressing here is that is centralization, and that too much money, too much decision-making power is in the hands of too few people.
Exactly.
And blockchain it gives us the technology finally to decentralize that in a way that we've never been able to do before.
Yep. So a valid question would be,
Yeah.
are we not just trying to decentralize that power then into our own hands, right? Because we're trying to build a technology company.
Right.
The technology companies that people have become familiar with, that's exactly what they've tried to do. We're building Symto, as you'll find in the other episodes, we're building Symto as a decentralized, automated organization, and weaving into the very fabric of it, taking power out of everybody's hands, including our own. The board members and officers of this company, per the bylaws, exist only to ensure that decentralization is defended and that transparency is maintained. It's a different kind of organization, and I really encourage anybody to look into decentralized automated organizations in general, and certainly what we're trying to do with it.
Yeah, we'll put out some information about that as well, about what a decentralized automated organization is and how Symto works as one. So yeah, like I said earlier, and if you guys have been following us for a while, we've been traveling all over the Southeast United States here to really start that grassroots campaign. Marty, what's been the real purpose of this trip, and what do you think we've accomplished down here?
Yeah, so my goal with this trip was to take, of course, we're building as a decentralized organization, right? So the co-founders and everybody involved right now have spread to the four winds. So it's a lot of theory, a lot of documents being sent back and forth, a lot of phone calls. But I think it is important at some point for people to get together, put a hand on the shoulder and say, okay, let's do this thing. Like, we're really doing this thing. So that was the first part.
We're not just building a social network on the blockchain. We are building a IRL social network.
Exactly that. These systems always have to be a holographic representation of reality on reality's terms. And I say that a lot. But what is that? That's people having to live together and exchange real value. Not just ones and zeros on a computer. So if you're going to do that, you do need to get with people at a certain point to get things going. So it really is to start this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Where does that conversation start? With the people that are building it. So we've met with those people, and from there we've then pushed the conversation out to potential supporters. Because of course, we're using every technology at our disposal to gain support from people far and wide. But again, these first conversations need to happen eye to eye, face to face, and we've been doing that this week, and we've been extremely well received. Like I choke up when I think about the conversations that we've had just this week. And some of those conversations are already blooming into financial support, and of course that's what we need. And you can't build anything in this world without financial support. We're doing our best to provide opportunities for everybody to get involved. You can for as little as buying us a coffee at our Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com, right? ko-fi.com. I think it's /Symto.
Yeah, I'll put the link.
Put the links in the
link
description.
for you guys.
So you can buy us a coffee at our Ko-Fi, or you can buy an NFT at an NFT sale.
Yeah. The more coffees you guys buy us, the longer we survive in the wilderness here. Because I don't know how to get out of this canyon. So
it's all right, mate. I'll show you the way.
So please donate to our Ko-Fi. We'll be fine.
Or you can get involved during an NFT sale. And again, those things will fund getting us to our main fundraising campaign, which is our security token offering. Which is we can talk about that later. Yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about why we decided to go with an NFT sale or non-fungible token? Any crypto people watching will definitely know what that is, but I don't know, real quick, what's a non-fungible token, and why are we using that as a fundraising tactic?
Gotcha. So the main fundraising effort will be the security token offering, but that is an SEC regulated fundraising device that by law we can only make available to accredited investors, which is people that make a lot of money, more than $200,000 a year. But of course, this movement needs to start with everybody. So we wanted to provide as much opportunity as possible for anybody to get involved. NFTs have recently, it's a technology that's recently arisen to allow digital artists to monetize their work in a way that's not been possible previously.
Mm-hmm.
What it's also provided is an opportunity for us to work with the digital artists to make Symto themed artwork that we can sell to anybody, so that they can support us. In doing so, you're supporting us. You are, we have this identity of the economic dissident that we think gets this movement going. An economic dissident is somebody that recognizes our economic systems are flawed and looking for an alternative. And if that sounds like you, then we invite you to come and buy one of these NFTs and support us and wear it as a badge of honor.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, is there anything else we want to go over about our fundraising campaign? I mean, it'll be a whole month of stuff for you guys to follow.
You and I are going to continue this conversation for the next month when we get back to California here.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of people to travel around and talk to there. Set up. So yeah, look out for more.
Awesome. Look out for more, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of the Clean Dirt podcast. I know they keep getting shorter and shorter, but I think we're just getting more and more to the point. And like I said, this is really this is the part where you guys come in, because this is a grassroots movement, and it is more movement than it is a company. So we need all of you guys, and we can only do it together. So I think I said in one of my intros, we can do it, but we can only do it together. So not to get too corny with that, we'll forget it. Yeah, guys, coming to you from Bankhead National Forest in Alabama, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Be well.